The multivitamins section, one multivitamin is pretty much the same as another one, so we'll not really focus on anything other than the ones where I think there's a real difference in there. So we'll just fly through this particular section. And we'll start with the beta-glucans. Beta-glucans really important immune boosting nutrient. It comes from yeast and mushrooms, beta-glucans in nature. There's been a lot of interest in medicinal mushrooms for their benefits, for the immune system, for the cardiovascular system, and also as an anti-cancer fighter as well. This beta-glucans that we're using in the Nature's Aid product is a beta-glucans called beta-1316 glucans. There is another one from oats called beta-1314, which is good for cholesterol, but this is the immune system booster. So it's great for the immune system, cold and flu relief. My parents won't fly without taking Nature's Aid beta-glucans with them because of the number of times in the past where they've picked up infections on aeroplanes. This really works. They've never had one since, so touch wood, that'll continue to happen. It's a great combination formula. It's not just beta-glucans. There's elderberry in there. There's garlic. We saw how important garlic is, and it's the smelly stuff, I'm afraid. That's the one downside to this product. Elderberry is really good for catarrh around the ears and in the sinuses. It's got some vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, some zinc, some selenium. The elderly really do benefit from taking selenium with other nutrients for the immune system. So a fantastic all-round immune boosting product. For those people that don't want to be buying echinacea and using that all the time, this is a really good natural alternative you could use. So that's what's in there. The lutein eye complex pretty much does exactly what it says on the tin. It looks after the eyes. It's primarily a lutein product. 10 milligrams of lutein is in our eye complex. And it has a wide array of antioxidants in there that help to support the lens of the eye, the macula of the eye. So for things like macular degeneration, for cataracts, for those night vision, there's some bilberry in the product to help with night vision as well. So there you've got all the ingredients in the product. Rutein's helpful for strengthening capillaries of the eye as well. I will fly through these because you've got it all in front of you, and one multivitamin is pretty much the same as another, but they're very specific for specific people. So men's, obviously for men. The one without iron, not everybody wants iron. I know in Ireland there's quite a lot of people with hemochromatosis, so you're looking to avoid iron. That would be the multivit for those people. Pregnancy, you don't want vitamin A in a pregnancy one, so we use mixed carotenoids in there. Quantums are quite an interesting one. This is our highest strength multivitamin, and it contains 100 micrograms of selenium, 100 micrograms of chromium. It also has 100 milligrams of B5. So those three nutrients, think about it, selenium. Why would you put selenium in a multivitamin? Selenium is very important for the preventions of things like cancers, cardiovascular issues. It's very important for those severely degenerative diseases. So we put that in there. Chromium. We're living in a society that has real problems with blood sugar balance. There are so many diabetics within our society now. This is why I put a lot of chromium in that particular product. B5 is your anti-stress B vitamin. It's the key one that supports the adrenal glands. Stressful lives, that's what it's for. We put some mixed carotenoids rather than just using beta-carotene in there, give you the whole spectrum of the carotenoids. We do D3, but it's a vegan D3 rather than the vegetarian one. So wider range of people. We don't put iodine in our multivitamin high strength, the quantum. Reason being is most people that have thyroid problems can't take iodine. So I'd rather have a product that everybody could take, and then if people wanted some iodine, they could add some iodine into their diets at a later date. But it makes it an available multivit for those people with thyroid issues, and most people with thyroid issues can't take many of them. Little bit of magnesium, not a lot, but it's citrate. It's the highest bioavailable form. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And there's no calcium in there. The women's one is specifically formulated for women. And then we do the women's 50 plus with some specific nutrients in there to help with menopausal symptoms and beyond the menopause. So moving on to minerals, chewable calcium, great for osteoporosis, for rickets, hypertension, that type of thing. It's important for nerves and muscle function. Calcium makes our muscles contract. Magnesium helps them to relax. Getting the balance right between calcium and magnesium is really important, because if you get too much contraction and not enough relaxation, you get muscle cramps. So quite often magnesium deficiency is the thing that people suffer from, and this is where we get cramps, the little twitches at the corner of the eyes, things like that. Not many people need extra calcium. We live, certainly in the UK and yourselves in Ireland, in a very dairy-loving country. Dairy is a big part of our diet. Dairy is 13 parts calcium to 1 part magnesium, not the 2 to 1 that bones are. So we get a lot too much calcium. So our product is 800 milligrams of calcium. That's the RDA in just 2 tablets. It's a chewable one, and it's lemon flavored. So it has this nice lemony flavor. It's not very chalky. I'm not saying it's not chalky at all, but it's not very chalky. A couple of products here, calcium, magnesium and zinc, and calcium, magnesium and vitamin D3, both essentially doing the same thing, both bone formulae. The one with the zinc also helps the immune system as well as the bones, but the zinc is very important for the formation of hydroxyapatite, which is important for our bones. In the ideal ratio, 2 to 1, 2 parts calcium to every part magnesium. So that's our product. Not really a lot more to say about that particular one. Got some copper in there. We'll notice wherever we have zinc in our products, we've usually got some copper. Copper's very important alongside zinc, because the more zinc you put into your body, the more copper gets flushed out. So if you need to balance those two together. So in a good zinc formulation with zinc in, we'll always have some copper there. Chromium. Chromium is great for blood sugar balance. It actually has the claim on the front of the label that it's for blood sugar regulation. Good for cholesterol, good for weight loss, good for athletic performance as well. A lot of athletes use it to help to build muscle mass. So how does it help? Chromium is part of what they call glucose tolerance factor. It helps our bodies to function properly with regards to supporting the action of insulin in the body. And ours is a 200 microgram of chromium picolinate. Chromium picolinate is the most researched form of chromium. Iron bisglycinate, really should have titled this one gentle iron or non-constipating iron. One of the biggest problems with iron supplementation is people go, oh gosh, I'm taking iron, I'm going to become constipated with it. This form doesn't constipate. So it's great for those people that suffer from anemia or iron deficiency. It's great for improving energy levels, because it's so important at red blood cell formation. But the main thing is it doesn't constipate. Yeah, sorry. We've got 14 milligrams of very highly bioavailable iron, and bisglycinate is a very good, rich, bioavailable source. So it's enough for most people that have low iron levels. Maybe the severe ones we could possibly be looking at more, but for most people, 14 milligrams would be sufficient of a bioavailable form. Iron sulfate, which is typically a prescription iron, is very poorly absorbed and it constipates. So defeats the object, really. Very important for hemoglobin production and making sure that oxygen gets around the body, so keeps us energized. But we don't just put iron in our formula, we add some vitamin C in there as ester C, nice gentle ester C, and put some folic acid and B12, because most anemics aren't just iron deficient, or might not be iron deficient at all. They're deficient in one of the other two. Magnesium citrate. Magnesium is great for our circulation. It's really important to helping to relax the blood vessels. It relaxes the muscles. It's important in osteoporosis. We get a lot of calcium, we probably don't have enough magnesium. There is some schools of thought that say magnesium on its own would be a sufficient treatment for people with osteoporosis, rather than we prescribe calcium quite often. I like to see the two being used together. stress and anxiety. It's the anti-stress mineral. So it's really, really important is magnesium for about 300 enzymes in our body. 300 systems rely on magnesium as a key component of them. So the addition of vitamin B6, really important. That helps the absorption of it. So we're using magnesium citrate, not magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide, you see them 500 milligram magnesium oxide tablets. 500 milligrams of magnesium, wow, that seems an awful lot. You probably only absorb about 100 milligrams of that because it's very poorly absorbed. It very poorly disassociates from the oxide. Magnesium citrate, you probably absorb 90% of magnesium citrate, so a 125 milligram tablet will probably give you as much as a 500 milligram oxide. It's that well absorbed. Selenium, super antioxidant mix. So this is selenium and zinc and A, C and E, all the great antioxidants. Circulation and heart disease, very, very useful for great immune boosting qualities. As I said, the elderly particularly derive lots of benefit from that. Important for fertility, sperm production and healthy sperm production rely very heavily on these antioxidants. And a lot of the specific fertility formulas, male fertility formula, would rely on those nutrients. So it's a combination of those antioxidant rich products, and you've got 200 micrograms of selenium in there. We sometimes get asked, can you overdose on vitamins? Can you take too much of something? Selenium is a really good example of something you can quite readily overdose on. 200 micrograms, absolutely fantastic, will really help to support your body, give you all the benefits. If you quadruple that, if you took 4 a day, you're into toxic dosage. 800 micrograms of selenium, you're starting to hit toxic dosage. So it's always something to bear in mind. When people come in and say, can I take this, and this, it's always worthwhile just checking what's in the products they're taking. The vast majority of things, yeah, you can combine them. But there are 1 or 2. Vitamin A is another one that often causes problems. We've also got in here some copper and some B6 to act as cofactors. Copper, as we mentioned before, very important. Zinc lozenges, great for sore throats, good for the common cold. So zinc ions seem to be able to stop the cold virus from adhering to the throat lining and causing the effect of the sore throat. So by sucking a lozenge, you can certainly help to coat the throat and stop that from happening. It's certainly been shown to stop some viruses from multiplying. Our particular product is zinc gluconate in here. Zinc gluconate and zinc acetate are probably the only 2 forms of zinc that have this ability. Zinc picolinate, which is the best absorbed form of zinc, doesn't do the trick. You need to be gluconate or acetate. So we put zinc gluconate in there. We know it's very gentle on the stomach. It's ideal for children because it's only 3.75 milligrams of zinc per tablet. So they can certainly take 3 a day. As a child, you can take up to 10 milligrams of zinc a day quite readily. 4 lozenges for an adult, 15 milligrams. It's got added benefits because you've got some vitamin C in there. It's a nice peppermint flavour. It nearly masks the zinc flavour. Zinc has a strongish metallic flavour, although if you can taste it, you probably don't need it. Zinc controls, amongst other things, your sense of taste. So if you can taste it, you're probably not too bad for zinc levels. Zinc picolinate is our strongest zinc. It's a 15 milligram zinc, good for the immune health, good for the skin. Those teenagers that have those acne eruptions would certainly benefit from this. Men with the prostate problems, if they're suffering with real severe prostate problems, they're taking the saw palmetto, they could certainly add an extra zinc to it. And again, like magnesium, it's responsible for lots of different enzymes. Around 200 enzymes rely heavily on zinc. Ours is, as I say, the best research form, the most bioavailable form, the zinc picolinate. If I was to eat a bowl full of oysters right now, very zinc rich, that zinc would then combine with picolinic acid that's secreted by my pancreas and be absorbed. By providing it as zinc picolinate, you bypass that process. You speed up the reaction, the absorbability of it. And again, we've got some copper to compensate for the excess zinc. So it's safe for long-term usage in that particular situation.